United then with the win. Of course, a lot of speculation over the last couple of days about the future of Ruben Amorim. This is what United's coach had to say about it. Not Ruben Amorim, Bruno Fernandes. Oh.
I think he wants to stay. He's saying no to a lot of things, but it shows that he wants to win. And I think he's really young, he's really good. He needs to be on the best league in the world.
Do you think that the amount of money that Al Hilal are offering, supposedly, the club can turn that down? Given the financial picture?
we can find another way to win money. Of course, I'm the manager, I'm the coach, but sometimes it's a decision of the player. But of course, I talk with him, I explain things, and I just have that feeling. When I talk to someone, you have the feeling if he wants to stay. Of course, sometimes in a lot of games this season he was so frustrated, but he knows what we are doing. So the feeling that I have every time I speak with him is that he wants to continue, for sure, in Manchester United, but you never know.
Don and Jules back with us. Jules, how real is this?
Very real, very real. We know that there are negotiations happening right now between him and Al Hilal, the two clubs too. I don't think Ruben Amorim is telling the truth when he said that Manchester United can turn down £100 million for Bruno Fernandes at his age. As good as he's been for United over the last 5 years, it's a lot of money. It's the money they need. It's the money that they could have had they qualified for the Champions League, which they didn't. And if they want to rebuild this squad and rebuild their team and finally go in the right direction and progress, they need money. They need to find money somewhere. And right now, with a bit of Moreno, a bit of Garnacho, but Bruno, I'm sorry, is the most valuable asset that they have. So if the money is there, then I think it's difficult for them to turn down that money. And for him, he might want to stay, but £200 million over 2 seasons is very difficult to say no to, even if you're Bruno Fernandes.
Don, what do you do?
What do I do? I think it's a difficult one. I think if you're Bruno Fernandes, I think you've got a massive decision to make. I'm with Jules. I don't think Amorim's... I don't think he knows what his skipper wants to do. I think if you're Man United, well, I would stay. I wouldn't go if I was Bruno Fernandes. Well, unless you want... the money's the obvious one. If you want 200 million, then go and get 200 million. But if you want to leave Man United, go and play for someone else. Go and play for Real Madrid. You know, Toni Kroos ain't there anymore. Luka Modric ain't there anymore. You can get in that side of midfield. Go and play for another European side. Do you really want to go?
But they don't want you, Don.
They
don't want you. This is your choice. Stay at Manchester United or go to South. This is it. There's no other clubs. There's no other interest. This is it.
Context. There's always context.
No. So you would stay?
Well, no. What you would do is you'd have the conversation with Ruben Amorim and say, right, who are you bringing in?
But what difference does it make? You've got no Champions League football. You finished 16th, 15th last season. If you're Bruno...
Well, it makes a massive difference.
Why? Who are you going to bring into Manchester United that's going to make them title contenders in the summer?
There won't be title contenders. So
why stay?
What you do as a player, you have a conversation with the manager and you say to the manager, boss, what's the plan next season? Who are we bringing in next season? Otherwise, if you don't convince me,
I don't understand.
I understand. I'm telling you from a player's point of view.
What's the magic?
I'm telling you from a player's point of view.
I understand.
You're not listening.
Yeah, no, I am listening. And you're saying that Ruben Amorim is suddenly going to produce this magical list of players that is going to make you want to stay at Manchester United.
I never said magical list of players.
Well, then
I never said magical list of players.
Who are you bringing in that's going to make you that much better?
He can bring in Gyökeres. He can bring in other players. Garnacho's been linked with Napoli for £50 million. Jules just mentioned Kobbie Mainoo. You could sell him for whatever the fee might be, 20, 30, 40, whatever the numbers might be. You might be able to get something back on Rasmus Højlund. There's players out there that can make Man United better. They can't be any worse. So from a player's point of view, if you ask him the question, what does Bruno Fernandes do? The first thing he does, he knocks on the manager's door and he says to the manager, what's the plan next season? Boss, what are we doing? If the boss says, we've got no funds, we've got no Champions League football, we ain't got anything, we can't do anything, you've got to stay with us. Then you'd go and have the conversation with Al Hilal and you'd probably make the move. But your first priority is having the conversation with your boss to find out what's going to be happening in the summer regarding transfers in.
The problem is, if I have a conversation with Amorim and I'm Bruno Fernandes, and he can say whatever he wants, we'll know that he will need like 5, 6 players, not only 1 or 2. And if you get rid of Garnacho, or especially Mainoo, who I highly rank because I think before he got his injury, it was very good. you know that Amorim cannot promise anything. And that's the problem. And you can get 200 million. I checked before the show, how old was Bruno Fernandes? He's 30. I always say that over 30, you have the right to choose financials before sports.
Right.
And he only won I think the cup with the Sport in Portugal, the cup with Manchester United, and the League Cup with Manchester United. But he has the right to think about money. 200 million is huge, and you can secure the future of even your kids or grandkids or whatever, and so many other generations. And that's the question you have to think about. And if you only have the choice between Manchester United and a club in Saudi Arabia, I would go to Saudi Arabia because I don't see any bright future in a recent future, I would say. So. There is nothing you can promise to Bruno Fernandes, even if you are Amorim or some geniuses, whatever you have, because you have so many things to change at the club.
Where are the Morenos going?
Oh, the Morenos. Well, at least I'm going to Saudi Arabia. I don't know if the Morenos are coming with me. All I'll tell you is Ruben Amorim said there, I've had my conversations with Bruno Fernandes, and I have a feeling he wants to stay because he wants to win. It's one of the reasons that Ruben Amorim gave there. And then at that point is when you go, win what exactly? Because we keep talking about it's either Manchester United or Al Hilal. I don't think that it's as straightforward as that. It's this version of Manchester United. It's this Manchester United or Al Hilal. If it was Manchester United at its best or Saudi Arabia, you say, well, of course, Manchester United. But this version of Manchester United is the one that says, I don't think we can get that much better as quickly as I need this team to get better if I'm Bruno Fernandes. And so therefore, I'm thinking even if we improve, even if we really, really improve, what is the best that we can hope for? Europa League maybe? Maybe perhaps?
Yeah.
I just don't see that the leaps and bounds of the improvement for Manchester United are going to happen naturally over the course of the next season or two. And so therefore, if I'm Bruno Fernandes and if I'm the Morenos, Saudi Arabia, here we come, baby.
Don, would you like the last word on this before I shout?
No. I'll take Ali's point, but I would stay if the players get bought in.
Oh, you're very stubborn. Yeah. But
Don, he said 100 million doesn't matter to Manchester United. They've sacked half their staff force. They've stopped feeding them because they haven't got the money.
But there's so many players in the Premier League they could turn to. There's so many players they could potentially buy. As long as they get the money in, they could buy Brian Mbeumo, brilliant player. They could buy Morgan Gibbs-White, brilliant player. So Man United are not going to be winning titles tomorrow. I don't think anyone's naive enough to sit here and say, right, the conversation with Ruben Amorim says we're bringing 3 players in. That's it, boys. We're challenging for the league. No one's naive enough to think that. But from a player's point of view, all I'm saying is before you make that jump to Al Hilal, you'd have the conversation with Ruben Amorim and find out what the plan is, if there is one.
Jules, your face has made me smile through this segment, it must be said.
No, because there's a lot of good things being said. I just think if you just put yourself into Bruno's shoes, he loves the club. Great. He's been, I think, a great servant to the club. And we can mention sometimes him missing in big games. I get that. But it's been 5 years of suffering.
Yeah.
I know there's a League Cup and an FA Cup in there, but he suffered. When you are a top player, when you're in your best years, because this is his best years. He's not 22 anymore. This is his best years. And then you finish 15th. You lose the Europa League final where you don't play well. Your team is dreadful. You've got this new manager who you really like. He's your compatriot. And yet he's worse than the guy that you had before that you didn't like. So it's difficult. And I think this offer is on the table. And he's surely thinking, come on now. I probably have earned the right to not just earn all that money, but also just enjoy a little bit of my football, which he hasn't done really at United. Let's be honest.